Let's add custom villager trades to our Minecraft mod. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x all in one place, linked down below in the description. Raven fans, back to tell you once more, and in this tutorial we'll be adding custom villager trades to our Minecraft mod. Now luckily, the custom villager trades are still okay-ish to add. You know, when we get to custom villagers, that's a whole different level over here. But yes, everything here has changed, by the way, in 26 again. So before, villager trades were all done via events. Now they are done via data gen. For this, in the data gen package, we're going to make a new package called Villager, yeah, there we go. And inside we'll need two new Java classes, the mod villager trades class, as well as the mod villager trade tags class. There we go. All right, we're going to start off with the mod villager trades class over here, and we're just going to need a private static resource key. So there's going to be the resource key method over here for villager trade. In this case, I'm going to call this here the create key method with a string name parameter, and we're just going to return resource key. This is resource key.create, then registries dot, this is the villager trade exactly, and then an identifier from namespace and path with tutorial mod, not temporal unit, tutorial mod.mod ID. There we go. And then the name right here given, absolutely fantastic. And then we need to create for each of the different trades, we need its own resource key. Let's take a look at pressing shift 4 times or 2 times, and then including non-project items, either works. The villager trades class over here, just making sure we write this correctly. There we go. This is the villager trades class, and you can see right here it has for every single different trade you have a different resource key. So farmer 1, meaning this is for farmer level 1, and you can trade in emeralds for wheat. Or is it emeralds for wheat or wheat for emeralds? I'm never 100% sure. Trade cost is wheat and then you get an emerald. Yes, the second item is what it gives. So you give it 20 wheat and you get 1 emerald. There you go. Okay. But yeah, highly recommended to check out that class if you are looking to, well, understand this a little bit better. And let's just see. So this is going to be a resource key over here of villager trade. And this is going to be the farmer underscore 1 underscore emerald underscore onion underscore seeds equal to the create key method with farmer. And let's see, this is actually exactly correct right here. So this is going to be always farmer and then /1. So basically you want to have the name of whatever the villager profession is, then / and then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for their tier, and then / again, and then the name of this particular trade. And we're going to do a second one over here for onion as well. This is going to be the one for onion. So this is going to be the farmer. Let's also get ourselves a farmer level 2 so you can see that as well. This one, for example, you get, maybe we put in a, also this is not emerald. I actually want to make this a diamond over here because I want to shake it up a little bit. Okay. Diamond onion. And then the farmer level 2, you're going to put in, I don't know, goji berries, and you're going to get out an emerald or something. I don't know. Sure, why not? Goji berries, emerald. Nice. Those are going to be the 3 trades that we're going to add. Then we need a public static void bootstrap method over here with a bootstrap context of type villager trade, of course. I'm going to call this the context. And now we get into registering this. It's really not that crazy. We want to call context.register, passing in the key. So this would be farmer 1. Let's do the onion seeds first over here. So the onion seeds and then a new villager trade here in this case. And that's going to look kind of like this. We're first of all going to have a new trade cost. This is what we have to pay. In this case, it is going to be items.emerald. No, emerald, please. There we go. And let's say 4 of those. And we're going to get back a new item stack template. In this case, mod items.onion seeds. Actually, onion seeds. And let's say 2. Yeah, that's okay. Then we will have max uses. So this is 12 of them. Then let's say the XP 6 discount 0.05. There we go. Then we have an optional of empty here in this case, optional empty. Then a list.of, which is also going to be empty. And then we can end this with a semicolon. And there we go. once again, I highly recommend you check out the Villager Trades class to see exactly the same, well, the vanilla values. Jesus, there's so many. As you can see, this is the XP, for example, max uses, the reputation discount, and then sometimes you have like optionals and sometimes you don't. So for example, right here, you have a list right here because the lists, I am actually not 100% sure. These are given item modifiers is the list right here. And then there's a merchant predicate for some item conditions. So you can give it certain conditions. I'm not 100% sure exactly how this works. I highly recommend you check out the Villager Trades over here to see this. So for example, here you can see that there's like an enchanted item method for the fishing rod, right? So sometimes the fishing rod can have enchantments on it, and that's sort of where this is like used for. Oh, and the predicate is used for the restriction right here. Yeah. So you can see that, for example, the compass apparently is for specific like type of villager, so that this only appears in certain types of villagers in this case. Once again, highly recommended to check those classes out if you're like interested in more depth on this. For now, we're just going to add normal sort of base things over here. So the second one is going to be the diamond to onion. So this is going to be diamonds over here. Let's say we put down 2 diamonds and we're going to get out an onion, not an onion seed, but an onion. And let's say we get like, I don't know, like 10 onions or something like that. I think that's okay. And maybe the max uses here is a little bit less. And finally, we got the farmer 2 over here, where instead of the trade cost being an emerald, the trade cost is going to be mod items dot goji berries over here. Let's see, we have to pay 12 goji berries to get ourselves an emerald, because I mean they do love to be crazy with their emeralds. There we go. So 12 goji berries goes to 1 emerald. Man. And before someone asks, yes, of course, we're gonna add another one, which is gonna be the librarian for the librarian. There we go. And this is librarian. And also I just noticed, oh, this should be a 2 right there. Librarian 1, just for the sake of argument over here. And this is going to be the, let's call it Azurite Enchanted. There we go. And then we can do Azurite _ Enchanted. And the idea here being that we're going to get an enchanted book. Now, how is that going to work? Yeah, this is the thing that many people want to know. And we can see it in the Villager Trades right here. This would be well, basically we use an enchanted book. And then here you can see that we call the enchanted book method right here. Let's just take a look at this for a second. There's going to be the librarian. That's okay. We put in mod items of Azurite right here. And let's say we put in 32 Azurite, like absolutely crazy. The item stack template is going to be items.enchanted book. But now we have to somehow, basically with this list down here, you can see with this list, we need to somehow signify, hey, this is going to be an enchanted book. So let's just do the following. Instead of list of, we're going to do villager trades.enchanted book. A villager trades that enchanted item over here, or enchanted book, actually, this is correct, enchanted book. And you can see that we have a holder getter of items, then a holder of enchantment, and then a level. So the first thing is, how do we get the item thing? Very, very straightforward. The holder getter, of course, is just a var items equal to context.lookup, and then this is going to be registries.item. Boom, easy enough. Then we put in the items right here. Then we have to specify the enchantment, which works via the enchantments right here. This is actually correct. So we make the holder getter of enchantments. And if you want to just do one, you can do enchantments.get or throw with a reference. Does it work with a reference? Let's take a look at this. Enchantments. No, this is not the tag enchantments. It's enchantments for world item enchantments. There we go. This is the one dot infinity over here. This gets us a reference, and then we can do a holder set dot direct, passing this in over here, and then there we go. That's going to now have it. It's a little bit, like I said, it's a little bit complicated, right? So this would be now the idea of, hey, the enchanted book right here that the librarian is going to sell you for 32 Azurite is going to be an enchanted book with infinity. Now, if I understand this correctly, inside you should be able to add multiple enchantments. So in the holder set of direct over here, so then we can, in theory, also do, I don't even know, like impaling. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does make sense, but like, let's just go for like multi-shot. Sure, infinity or multi-shot over here, and it should get you a list, right, of all of the different enchantments over here. So that should just work on its own. A little bit more complicated, but it also shows you how you can add the enchanted book. Like I said, always take a look at the vanilla classes if you're interested in how that exactly works. Right, so those are the 4 different trades that we're adding. Let's then go to the villager trades tag, which is going to extend from the villager trades tags provider right here. Let's hover over this to create constructor matching super. We're going to keep it like that. Add or override the add tags method. And then here, get or create raw builder. We're going to use the villager trade tags dot farmer level 1. And you can see now we're going to add this via the following with a tag entry dot element exactly with mod villager trades dot farmer 1 onion seeds dot identifier. We can call this add method again for the onion right here. This is going to be the diamond one. There we go. That's going to be awesome for the level 1 for the farmer. And then we have the level 2 for the farmer right here. So you can see this is all how this is basically how it's set up. So this is going to be the goji berries for the emerald. And then the final one here is going to be the librarian level 1 for the librarian 1 right here. Boom and boom. And this is how you add them to the different levels. Extremely important that we don't forget the trade tag. Otherwise, it's not actually going to be added. Super, super important. And that is basically the 2 parts to this now. We're going to continue here by adding this to the data pack provider. If you haven't added the painting, the jukebox, or the damage type, then you most likely will not have this class. You will, of course, need to add this. Very simple. It's literally just this particular class over here, extending the data pack built-in entries provider. And we're going to duplicate this for the villager trade right here. And this is then, of course, going to be the mod villager trades bootstrap, quote unquote bootstrap, easy enough. And inside of our data gen class over here, we're also going to do the mod villager trade tags that we need to do. The data pack provider over here, this one obviously is already added in our case. Now that is luckily everything that we need in this case. A custom villager is going to be much more complicated, like let me just tell you. But you know, because we also need to do this whole mess as well. But generally speaking, this is pretty okay. And that's going to generate us the JSON files we need. So let's just run the data gen over here. There's no, assets or anything that we need in this case. And we can take a look at this under generated data, tutorial mod, and this should be under villager underscore trade. There we go. So we can see farmer 1 and then librarian 1. And this is the JSON file for it. And oh, there you go. That's the whole idea in this case. And I would say let's just jump in the game and see for trades. All right, finally back in Minecraft, and let's just get ourselves some villagers over here and let's see. So this one does not have our custom enchantment. This one does have the custom trade right here, as you can see. So I'm gonna get myself some onions with some diamonds. Absolutely fantastic. Let's see about this guy. Doesn't have it, and this guy does actually have it. A 51 for the multi-shot. Now do notice that this is 51 for multi-shot, and you might say, well, hold on a second, didn't we define right here that it was 32? Yes. So what I understand is that this is going to sort of increase the cost on in some capacity. I think there's an overloaded one where you can change this. So basically, the enchanted book over here, double trade prices. So you can see that there's a difference over here as well. But there, I am genuinely not 100% sure. You might have to double check this as well in order to see. But there we go. We can get ourselves some multi-shot for for the trade over here. And let's see the upgraded one also, goji berries for emeralds. Absolutely horrendous trade. But there we go. That is custom trades added to Minecraft. Awesome. And that's gonna be it for this tutorial right here. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to all the patrons and the YouTube members. Don't forget, you can get up to 14 days of early access by becoming a Stonebricks member on YouTube, and that's gonna include this video right here. We'll do custom villagers. Oh boy, I hope to see you there. So yeah.